day, fellow IBM'ers. You can probably see some abrasion on my forehead that I sustained in one of my famous IBM falls about a week ago. I was lucky this time only to get some rug burns and scrapes on my forehead, my knees, my elbows, my shoulder, my left hand, but no broken bones. You know, selecting a power chair if you have inclusion body myositis can be a long and exhaustive process. Most people will visit a vendor that specializes in power chairs to receive a fitting and a recommendation for a power chair that suits the needs of the person with IBM. He will assess your needs and recommend a chair for you. Some of you might strike out on your own and look for a good used power chair that fits your need. Either way, you had better become familiar with some of the power chair terms. So having said that, this video is geared at IBM people who are starting to think about their upcoming mobility device, a power chair, and probably not targeted at those IBM'ers who have been around power chairs for a long time. Footrests, headrests, leg rests, elevating seats, tilt-back seats, mid-drive wheels, rear drive wheels, front drive wheels, caster wheels, pneumatic tires, foam-filled tires, swing-away joystick, solid-mounted joystick, overall width, overall length, transportability, LED light packages, just to mention a few terms you will need to become familiar with. Power chair advancements are charging ahead, probably faster than some of us will appreciate. Things like Bluetooth wireless to control a computer mouse, or a USB to charge your phone, and you can even answer your phone through a joystick of the more modern power chairs. If nothing else, I hope the content of this video helps you become more familiar with some power chair terms that might help with your power chair selection. People with insurance that will pay for most or all of their power chair costs will probably visit the local vendor of insurance-approved makes and models. But wait a minute. What does a power chair specialist know about IBM? Probably nothing. Will his recommendation be based on your present condition, or should he be made aware of what lies ahead in your IBM future? You will have to educate him based on your knowledge of the disease, or from what you have learned from IBM'ers in the more advanced stages of this disease, because that's probably where you'll end up too. If you have inclusion body myositis, you already know that your weakened leg muscles have or will soon prevent you from standing up from a seated position. Therefore, your selection of power chairs should include only those with a power elevating seat. As only 5% of all chairs available have the seat elevator option, 95% of all the chairs on the market can be eliminated as your possible choice. Identifying all the models and vendors that offer a seat elevator option must be a primary consideration. At the end of this video, I will list some of the models that include a seat elevator option. Seat elevators on some older power chair models were very slow operating, taking 45 to 60 seconds to raise the seat 10 inches might have been good for safety concerns, but are a serious source of displeasure when the user needs to do something fast, like get transferred to a toilet. The older chairs also did not have the ability to raise or lower the seat while moving, and some models seriously restricted the speeds at which you could drive when the seat was even just slightly raised. If you have IBM and Mother Nature calls, a fast elevating seat that can be raised while driving to the bathroom is often appreciated. Let's start with the three different drive types available on power chairs. You've got the front wheel drive. The propulsion wheels are located up front with caster wheels on the back. And you have mid-wheel drive. The propulsion wheels are located in the center. There are caster wheels in the front and in the rear. And you have rear wheel drive. The propulsion wheels are located towards the rear with front-mounted caster wheels. There are advantages and disadvantages to all three types. Let's discuss them now. If you intend to use your power chair outdoors where sidewalks or uneven terrain exist, A front or rear drive configuration may be the best for you. The large drive wheel located in the front wheel drive configuration will help power the chair up and over an obstacle. The front drive is great for turning in tight corners as long as you account for the tail spin room needed for the rear casters. The downside of the front wheel drive design is that it is more difficult to steer at high speeds. The rear wheel drive configuration is also good for outdoors. Similar to the front drive configuration, the rear drive has only 4 points contacting the ground, and the drive wheels will always stay connected to the ground. My recommendation is, if you choose a rear wheel drive configuration, is to select a unit with the largest front casters possible. The larger the casters, the easier it will be for the powered chair to climb over objects often found in uneven sidewalks or lawn surfaces. One disadvantage of the rear wheel drive is that the front mounted foot and leg rests must be positioned further forward to allow for the caster wheels to spin about freely, and that might enlarge your turning radius slightly. Mid-wheel power chairs have 6 contact points with the ground or floor surface, presumably resulting in the most stability if set up for each individual user. Although the mid-wheel power chair is supposed to have the smallest turning radius, it may not be the best choice if you are often operating in confined spaces. When counter-rotating the mid-wheel power chair, operators often forget about the tail spin of the front and rear-mounted swivel casters, resulting in an unexpected collision with a piece of furniture, wall, door frame, or other object in close proximity. Mid-wheel power chairs sometimes have 4 smaller caster wheels, which often makes it a difficult configuration to use on uneven surfaces, such as sidewalks or around the house on the lawn. When operating on uneven surfaces such as a lawn, the mid-wheel configuration may high center on the 4 casters, losing traction to the drive wheels in the middle, resulting in the inability to move forward and backwards. I hope you are not alone, because if it happens on a soft surface like a lawn, you may need somebody to help push you off the spot that you are stuck on. In short, the decision of what type of configuration of power chair you select should be based on your intended use of the power chair. If you are the outdoorsy type and plan to do a lot of sidewalk touring, visiting parks, or using your chair in any type of uneven terrain, the front or rear drive wheel power chair is probably best for you. Remember, for outdoor use, the larger the drive wheels and the larger the caster wheels chosen, the better it will work for you. If you only intend to use the power chair around the confines of your home, the mid-wheel design will work great for you as long as you have adequate space to operate it in. Prior to selecting any power chair, you should also measure the door openings in your home to make sure that the width of the power chair you select does not exceed the width of the doors that you have to go through. If the doorway you are planning to go through includes a 90-degree turn, you will have to add some extra space to make the turn into that room. Tires are vital to the operation of power chairs. Recently, it seems that most power chair manufacturers are switching to non-pneumatic or foam-filled tires that don't require constant monitoring of tire pressure. Although pneumatic or air-filled tires are still available, I don't see the sense in it. There's nothing more aggravating than riding through a park, even on a concrete sidewalk, and getting a thorn pushed up through your air-filled tire that will cause a flat in no time. Believe me, I have experienced that. I've realized that foam-filled tires are the best. New technologies have allowed manufacturers to develop power chairs with elevating seats that can raise or lower while moving at 3.5 miles per hour. Some of the newer chairs can raise or lower the seat 10 inches in as little as 16 seconds compared to the older chairs that took between 45 and 60 seconds and could only be raised when the chair was not moving. A power chair with a 10-inch elevating seat will also allow you to sit at your favorite table, whether it be a standard height, counter height, or a pub table height table. You should measure the distance from the floor to the bottom of your favorite tables or desks to determine if the chair you are considering will fit your needs again remembering the tables and their height that you may visit outside your house. If you think you may be confined to your wheelchair for several hours at a time, it might also be advantageous to get a seat tilt function on your power chair. The seat tilt function allows you to lay the seat back to temporarily take some pressure off your posterior. It always feels good if you can take an alternate position, even for just a few seconds or minutes. Leg rests and foot plates also include many choices. There are stationary leg rests, power elevating leg rests, and swing away leg rests. Also available are single foot plates, double foot plates, both that must be tilted up in order to transfer out of the power chair. Tilting a foot plate can be a problem for a person with limited arm and hand strength in the later stages of IBM. Some IBM'ers use a stick or a grabber to tilt a foot plate, and I've heard of some people that simply tie a string to the foot plate to enable them to tip up the foot plate prior to transferring. I heard that there are some power chairs available now with power-assisted foot plates that raise the foot plates with the press of a button, but I have not seen one in person yet. The comfort of a seat cushion is real important, especially if you plan on spending many hours a day sitting in it. I sit in my power chair at my desk while using my computer, as well as every mealtime, home or away, as well as my sidewalk travels around town and in local parks. There are a multitude of seats available on the modern day power chairs. There are foam cushions, gel cushions, and pneumatic or air-filled cushions that are adjustable in firmness. I've tried them all during the past 6 years, and recently, when the cover on my most favorite contoured foam cushion wore out, I took the cushion to a local automotive upholstery shop and had a new custom cover made for about 1/3 the price of a new replacement cushion. Headrests and reclining backrests are nice features if you can afford them, as there are many times you might want to just lay back and rest a little bit while on your power chair. Transporting your power chair. While transporting your power chair, make sure the model you select has the appropriate and approved chair tie-downs mounted securely on the chair, and don't ever neglect using them. If you are planning on transporting your power chair in a van, make sure you know the opening height and width of the door you plan on loading the chair through compared to the specifications of the chair you are selecting. The level of sophistication regarding your choice of power chair and its electronic system should be compared with your willingness to learn and adapt. Some power chair joystick assemblies are very simple to operate, while others, especially those that include the operation of several options and features, may involve a bit of patience to learn how to efficiently operate them. Some power chair systems include all of the functions in a single joystick controller, while other systems include the secondary switch panel for options like elevating seat, seat tilt, power leg rest, and others. Many power chair manufacturers also offer an attendant joystick mounted at the rear of the power chair, which is a convenient way for a spouse or caregiver to move the chair either while you are sitting in it or if they need to reposition it for you when you are not sitting in the chair. A little thought might be required before just arbitrarily deciding that a joystick controller should be at the location of your dominant hand. Give it some serious thought. Manufacturers offer a joystick position on the left side or the right side at no extra cost. So your question might be, where should the joystick controller be mounted, on the right side or on the left side? Some people might say, I'm right-handed, therefore the joystick should be on the right side. There is an alternate view on that. Operating a joystick does not need a lot of hand dominance, so why not learn to drive your power chair with your non-dominant hand and allow your dominant hand to do more important things like using your stronger hand to open a door, open a drawer, carry a dish, lift a small object, or grab something off the store shelf, etc. If you are right-handed and your joystick is mounted on the right side, will a joystick control be in your way while sitting at your desk using your computer mouse? Speaking of joystick controllers, if available, you should consider a swing-away joystick controller mount. I find it's necessary to swing the joystick controller off to the side when sitting at a dining room table to allow the power chair to be closer to the table. Although my typing skills are gone in my advanced stage of IBM, my one-finger keyboard computer punching is easier when the chair is closer and the joystick is swung out of the way, so I don't have to reach around the joystick to access the keyboard. Whether you decide to have your joystick mounted on the right or left side, I'm recommending a swing-away mount that allows the joystick to be moved to the outside of the chair rather than to the inside. Swinging the joystick to the outside of the chair will give you the ability to be closer to the table and less chance of spilling food or drink on your joystick controller or your lap. There is another option that can be considered in your purchase decision of a power chair. LED light packages are available as an option on most machines and come standard on some machines. These lights come in handy for me when I leave the living room and head to my bedroom at night. They also come in handy if I need to move around the house during a power outage, and also mark my presence on a sidewalk when driving home from the neighbor's house after sundown. Well, that's a start. There's lots to think about when selecting a power chair, and a lot of companies that would say almost anything to have you buy one of their chairs. Extra features usually cost extra money, but sometimes that money is well spent if it means a better chair that matches your abilities while having inclusion body myositis. And remember, your power chair salesman or vendor will know nothing about the future of you and your IBM. Make sure to take a list of things that are not only important to you now, but also of what you have learned may be a part of your future. Always remember, advanced planning is very advantageous to people with IBM. Thanks for tuning in to my IB Myositis YouTube channel. I hope the information I've shared with you during this video will help ease some of the complexity in selecting a power chair for your needs now and in the future.